Digital transformation isn't a roadmap anymore. It's survival. Still waiting for the perfect timing? Here's what every bank executive tells themselves. We'll modernize when the timing is right, when budgets align, when we finish this other project first. But here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. The banks pulling ahead right now, they stopped waiting 18 months ago. And the gap between them and everyone else is widening every single quarter. Let me be direct with you. You're not just competing against the bank across town anymore. You're competing against their speed, their ability to approve loans in days instead of weeks, their digital payments infrastructure that works seamlessly, their customer experience that feels effortless. And while you're waiting for the perfect implementation window, they're already capturing the customers you thought were loyal to you. We work with institutions across the country, and I can tell you exactly what's happening right now. The banks that moved first on digital transformation aren't just incrementally better. They're operating in a different category entirely. They're processing transactions faster, approving loans while their competitors are still gathering documents, launching new products in months instead of years. And it all comes down to one decision they made that changed everything. Let's talk about what's really holding most banks back. You probably think it's your core banking system. Maybe you're running on Fiserv, Jack Henry, or FIS, the big three that power about 70% of banks. And yes, legacy infrastructure is part of the equation. But here's what we see when we analyze struggling institutions. The real problem isn't the technology itself. It's the paralysis that comes with it. The fear of disruption. The complexity of integration. The risk of getting it wrong. So banks wait. And while they wait, their competitors are moving. Think about what that waiting costs you, not in abstract terms, but in real numbers. Every week you delay modernizing your digital payments infrastructure, customers are choosing banks that make transfers feel instant. Every month you postpone upgrading your loan origination systems, borrowers are going to institutions that can approve them faster. Every quarter you push back that integration project, your cost per transaction stays higher than it needs to be. The cost isn't your legacy system. It's every opportunity you're missing while that system stays exactly as it is. Let me tell you about a transformation we guided recently, because this story will sound familiar. Picture a regional bank. Solid reputation, decades of customer relationships, strong balance sheet. They were running on one of the big three core systems, and on paper, everything looked stable. But their leadership team knew something was wrong. Loan processing was taking 3 weeks start to finish. Their digital banking platform felt clunky compared to what customers experienced elsewhere. And quietly, gradually, they were losing commercial clients to more agile competitors. This is where Marcus Chen came in. Marcus is our AI business strategist, and he always carries this sleek tablet displaying real-time banking analytics. He walked into their boardroom and pulled up data they'd never seen, visualized this way. Customer drop-off rates at specific points in their loan application process. Transaction processing times compared to industry benchmarks. The revenue gap between their current state and where they could be with modern infrastructure. Across the table sat Robert Sullivan, their chief operating officer. Robert's the kind of banking executive who wears these distinctive silver cufflinks with the bank's traditional insignia. Old school in the best way. He understood banking fundamentals deeply. But as Marcus walked through the data, Robert kept adjusting those cufflinks. You could see him processing what this meant. They weren't just behind on technology. They were becoming obsolete in real time. The moment that changed everything came when Marcus showed them their competitor analysis. 3 other banks in their market had already modernized their loan origination systems. One had implemented Abrigo and cut their processing time from 3 weeks to 4 days, not by working harder, by eliminating the manual handoffs and paper-based workflows that made everything slow. Robert looked at that data and said something I'll never forget. We're not competing on relationship banking anymore. We're competing on who respects the customer's time. That sentence changed their entire approach. Within 60 days, they'd initiated their core banking modernization with their existing provider, focusing first on API-enabled integrations that would unlock faster processing. They upgraded their loan origination system to match what best-in-class institutions were using. They rebuilt their digital payments infrastructure from the ground up. Here's what happened in the first 6 months. Loan processing time dropped from 21 days to 5 days. Customer satisfaction scores increased by 32%. But the metric that mattered most? Commercial loan volume increased by 47% because suddenly they could compete on speed without sacrificing their credit quality standards. Marcus checked in with them recently, and Robert told him something revealing. He said the transformation wasn't really about technology at all. It was about accepting that first movers in banking don't just gain an advantage, they define what advantage means. They set the customer experience standard that everyone else gets measured against. And if you're not setting that standard, you're explaining why you can't meet it. Here's what I want you to understand. The institutions winning right now all made one critical decision. They stopped treating digital transformation as a project with a perfect future start date, and started treating it as the most urgent strategic priority they had. Not because they love technology for its own sake, but because they understood that speed has become their competitive moat. So here's what you need to do this week. Not a comprehensive audit, not a 6-month planning process. One specific action. Contact your core banking provider, whether that's Fiserv, Jack Henry, FIS, or another system, and ask them one direct question. Show me our API, roadmap, and integration capabilities for the next 12 months. If they can't give you a clear, specific answer that tells you everything, if they can, you've just started the most important conversation your institution will have this year. Because here's the reality. The gap between first movers and everyone else isn't closing. It's accelerating. And the longer you wait to bridge it, the more expensive that gap becomes. The businesses that survived the next 3 years all did one thing. Next video reveals it.